Which is better for you, the Samsung Galaxy A20 or the Samsung Galaxy A10e? Well, in this video, we're going to find out. Follow me on Instagram at KevinBreezeTV. Please join the Kevin Breeze Tech community on Facebook to chat about budget smartphones, ask questions, and help others. Hi everyone, this is Kevin here, coming at you with my comparison between the Samsung Galaxy A20 and Samsung Galaxy A10e. Now both of these devices are the Metro by T-Mobile variants of them. However, both phones are available on a variety of other carriers, and you can also get them factory unlocked on Amazon. So if you do want to go the factory unlocked route so that you can easily switch from carrier to carrier and you're not stuck with any particular carrier, then I will be leaving links in the video description to where you can get the phones on Amazon. Now without a doubt, the Samsung Galaxy A20 is the better phone of the two. That's why it's the A20 versus the A10e being called the A10e. But the purpose of this comparison is to really put these head to head so that you could see really how much better the A20 is over the A10e, so that you can decide on your own if it's worth going with the A20 or if you should save a little bit of money and get the A10e. Now at Metro by T-Mobile, they're constantly offering a bunch of different promotions, so it's definitely possible that you could get either of these two devices for free. Now if you can get these phones for free, then without a doubt, go with the Galaxy A20. The only thing that I could see people wanting to get the A10e for over the A20 is that you do get a smaller display and form factor. Now over at Metro, the retail price for the Galaxy A20 is $239.99 and the retail price for the Galaxy A10e is $179.99. But calm down, don't get scared or frightened by those prices. Nobody's going to be paying the retail prices for either phone. Of course, if you were to go the factory unlocked route and get either of these devices on Amazon, you'd be saving a lot of money over that retail price. But the thing is that 99.9% of people that buy a phone from Metro by T-Mobile never pay the retail price because they offer significant discounts for upgrades, new lines, and port-ins from other carriers. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, for these two phones at the moment, you can get both of them for free with the port-in into Metro. So for example, if you're switching from Sprint to Metro by T-Mobile, then you'll be able to get these phones for free. Now for a new line, you might have to pay a little bit. I believe at the moment the Galaxy A20 is $79.99 with the new line. Now I don't know exactly what the price is for the Galaxy A10e for a new line just because they're always changing it, but I believe it's somewhere around $30. It might actually be free. Again, don't go off of these prices that I'm giving you. What you should do is go over to your local Metro by T-Mobile retail store or dealer and see what the current promotions are for these two phones. Now, I'll tell you one thing's for sure. Do not pay over $100 for either of these two devices, because if you do that, then you're definitely better off going with the factory unlocked route by getting these on Amazon. Now, with all that out of the way, let's dive into the specifications. So with the Samsung Galaxy A20, we are getting a 720p display at 6.4 inches with a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. And with the Galaxy A10e, we're getting a smaller 720p display at 5.83 inches with a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. So you can see, holding these two devices up next to each other with the bottoms of the two lined up, you can definitely see that the Galaxy A20 certainly is the larger of the two devices. Now for some people, you might want a smaller phone, and in that sense, maybe the A10e will be the better choice for you. But if you're a fan of having a larger device, then the A20 is probably the way to go. Now the good news though is that both phones offer very good looking and clear displays. They both have really great colors, and they're both really good for content consumption. Now generally people go for a larger device because it's better for all forms of content consumption. It's better for watching videos because your videos are larger. It's better for sending text messages or browsing the web because you can make the text larger. So if you have bad eyesight, then it's probably better to go with the Galaxy A20. But if you have great vision and you don't mind having a smaller display and you definitely want a phone that's a little bit more pocketable, then the Galaxy A10e might be the way to go. But the cool thing is that both phones do feature that 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, which means that they're kind of taller but slimmer, which really makes them great for web browsing and going on social media especially because you can fit more content into your display. Now up top here, both devices feature teardrop notches. This is a thing that we're seeing with many of the new Galaxy A series phones that have come out in 2019, and I'm personally a big fan of it. The reason why I'm a big fan of it is because it's really the best of both worlds. It's giving you a very good screen to body ratio, but at the same time, the notches are very small and do not take up a ton of space like the notches on the iPhone XS, for example. So what that means is that you'll be able to have plenty of room for your various notification icons, whether it's your actual notifications on the left side or your system status icons on the right side. There's no crampedness by having these small notches on the top. Now with the Galaxy A20, we are getting an 8 megapixel front-facing camera, and with the Galaxy A10e, we are getting a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. I'm actually very pleased with the front-facing photo and video quality from both devices. Now definitely take a look at my complete review videos on this channel for both phones to see some photo and video tests from them, because I think that'll definitely help you decide which device has the better camera of the two. But generally, the A20 is going to give you better photo and video quality. But the A10e certainly is probably a class leader for a very budget device because it does take nice looking photos and videos. Now both devices feature 32 gigabytes of internal storage with SD card expansion. Now with the Galaxy A20, you get SD card expansion up to 512 gigabytes, and with the Samsung Galaxy A10e, you get SD card expansion up to 256 gigabytes. The good news though is that 32 gigs of internal storage isn't too bad at all for a budget device, and having the ability to add at least 256 gigs of extra storage to both phones will definitely give you a ton of storage. Now nothing beats having the old-fashioned internal storage because there's a lot of situations where some apps only work with the internal storage, so 32 gigs isn't too bad at all. Now neither of these two devices feature wireless charging, and with the Galaxy A20 we do get a fingerprint sensor on the back, but there is no fingerprint sensor at all with the Galaxy A10e. So let's try out that fingerprint sensor to see if it actually works well. So as you can see, that was pretty quick, not too bad at all. I do like the placement of that fingerprint sensor, it's pretty convenient. So in general, I'm glad that this device has one. Definitely, if you go from a device that has a fingerprint sensor to using a device like the A10e that doesn't have one, then it is going to be a little bit of a downgrade and a compromise on your user experience because having a fingerprint sensor is a great thing to have. Now, on the back side, we have some pretty big differences with the cameras on the two phones. Now, with the Galaxy A20, we get a dual camera setup with a main 13 megapixel camera and a 5 megapixel secondary camera. But Samsung has a trick up their sleeve with the secondary camera because it's also a wide-angle camera. Now, it doesn't take wide-angle photos based off of some sort of software modification or something like that. This is a legit wide-angle lens that really takes some nice-looking wide-angle pictures. Like I said, definitely go over to the full review video of the Galaxy A20 to take a look at those photo and video quality samples. I think you'll be very impressed, especially with the wide-angle camera. And if you've never used a wide-angle camera before, let me assure you that it is not a gimmick. Wide-angle photos are great, especially if you're going on vacation, or maybe you're trying to get a picture of architecture, or you're out in the forest and you want to get really cool looking pictures. The wide-angle lens really does come through with providing you with some really great looking and interesting photos. Now the Galaxy A10e just has one camera on the back, and that is one 8 megapixel rear camera. So not bad that it is 8 megapixels. The only downside though with this device is that there is no portrait mode, whereas with the Galaxy A20 we do get portrait mode. So I know that's a big thing nowadays that a lot of people are really into. So definitely if you're big into taking photos and videos, just know that they won't be bad with the Galaxy A10e, but you're getting way more options with the A20, such as, like I said, portrait mode, wide angle, and just better photo and video quality overall. Now the Samsung Galaxy A20 features 3 gigabytes of RAM, and the Galaxy A10e features 2 gigabytes of RAM. So we are getting an extra gig of RAM with the Galaxy A20. Now with the Galaxy A20, we are getting the Samsung Exynos 7904 processor, and with the Galaxy A10e, we are getting the Samsung Exynos 7884. So they are different processors. In general, you are going to be getting better performance with the Galaxy A20. However, the performance of the A10e isn't too bad. Now a little bit later in the video, we will be doing a speed test comparison where you'll get a really good idea of the user experience that you'll be getting with both phones. Now with both devices, video recording maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. The Galaxy A20 has a 4000 mAh internal battery, And with the Galaxy A10e, we get a smaller battery at 3000 milliamp hours. The battery on here is also internal and non-removable. Now both devices run Android 9 Pie, but it does feature Samsung's skin, and it is a pretty thick skin on both phones, which is pretty common with pretty much every Samsung device out there. Now for me personally, I know this sounds cliche, but I'm a big fan of stock Android. I really wish these phones did have stock. But the good news though is that despite there being a skin on both devices, the performance and optimization is really good. So just know that the skin isn't going to hold anything back. You're going to get good performance and an overall good user experience with both phones on the software side. Now that we've talked about the specifications of these two devices, let's now take a deeper look into the hardware. Now I already talked a little bit about the front here of the two phones. We of course have a 6.4-inch display with the Galaxy A20, and with the A10e we have a 5.83-inch display. So a smaller display on the Galaxy A10e without a doubt. Both displays are 720p, and they both feature that really awesome 19.5:9 aspect ratio with a notch up top. Now taking a look at the left side here on both phones, we have a very similar setup here. Both devices feature a micro SD card slot and SIM card slot behind that door there. Then taking a look at the right side of the two phones, we have the volume rocker and the power button. Now both phones feature a plastic build throughout, but I personally don't mind that because they do still feel decently premium and pretty solid and of good quality. Now taking a look at the top of both devices, they both have a noise canceling microphone. Then on the bottom of the two phones, we have the speaker, we have the microphone, we have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer, and we have the 3.5mm headphone jack. So yes, both of these phones do have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That is something that we don't even have anymore with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. Now taking a look at the backside of these two devices, you can see they both do feature a reflective material, a little bit more reflective on the Galaxy A20, but I do like the look of both of them. We of course have the camera module in the top left corner, we have the fingerprint sensor on the Galaxy A20, and both phones have the Samsung logo. Now without a doubt, both devices pick up a lot of fingerprints, so if you don't like fingerprints, then you probably won't like these devices. Let's now do a speed test comparison between these two phones. So we'll start off with pulling up the camera application, so 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like it was about the same on both devices, maybe a little bit quicker on the Galaxy A20. Let's go to Google Chrome. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the Galaxy A20 was quicker at pulling up Google Chrome. Let's go to Yahoo. 1, 2, 3, go. And the A20 was quicker at pulling up Yahoo. Let's go to Engadget.com. 1, 2, 3, go. And wow, the A20 was a lot quicker at pulling up Engadget in that test there. Let's try out a little bit of scrolling here with both devices. Very smooth scrolling on the Galaxy A20. And pretty smooth scrolling too on the Galaxy A10e. So I'm pretty impressed with both phones at scrolling, which is a good thing because that's a big part of browsing the web. Let's go to this article right here. 1, 2, 3, go. And it looks like the A20 was quicker at pulling up the article. Another thing too, you can compare side by side here how the colors appear on both devices. I do have brightness turned up completely to 100% on both phones, so you can see that the displays do look a little bit different. Now one other thing I wanted to show you is the boxes that these phones come with from Metro by T-Mobile. So what's really cool is that even though you're getting these phones from Metro, you do get boxes that don't feature Metro branding on the front. Now on the back side of both boxes, we do have Metro branding, but anyway, when you go to buy the phones, at least at Metro, this is what the boxes look like. Now let me know what you think of the Galaxy A20 and Galaxy A10e. Which phone do you think is the better option? Without a doubt, if you can get either of these two phones for free, especially with a port-in, then I would definitely go with the Galaxy A20 because it is the better phone of the two. But if you come to a situation where you have to pay for these two devices and you can get the A10e for cheaper, I want to know if you think it's worth it. Is it worth saving a little bit of money to go for the Galaxy A10e? Or should you just spend a little bit of extra money and get the Galaxy A20? And let me know if you think it's better to go with factory unlocked phones. And if you think that's the case, then definitely take a look at the link in the video description where it'll take you over to Amazon where you can get these two devices. Also over there, you'll see the most up-to-date pricing because I'm sure that's always changing. But thank you so much for watching this video. This is Kevin here. This is the Samsung Galaxy A20, and this is the Samsung Galaxy A10e, and I will see you in the next one.